Hey all, welcome to another video of Docker analogy series. So far in the last videos we learned about Docker basics, we learned how to create a Docker file, how to create an image out of it. We also learned how to run a Docker image and how to publish ports so that it can be accessed, so that application can be accessed from outside the container. And if you remember, in the first video we also talked about the hello world image. I think it was second video in my opinion. The image, if you remember how the hello world image was not available locally, so it downloaded from hub.docker.com, and then I showed you where that image was present, and then after downloading that image it was then executed. Now we want to learn the same feature, or we want to have the same feature enabled for our to-do app. Right now the to-do app that we have developed, it is available locally, so I can access it, but let's say I'm working in a team, my QA team cannot access it, my other code developers cannot access it because it is developed on my local machine, it is available locally. So we need a way to make this available for everybody in our team. Okay, so that will help the collaboration between the team members. So once the image is pushed, everybody, anybody can sort of use that image. If QA team needs it for testing, they don't have to dependent on me, or they don't need to use my machine. They can, download that image from a centralized repository and perform their testing, and so are other my developers as well. So nobody will have any dependency. Now let's try to enable the same feature for our to-do app. Now if I want to look at the images that I have, so I have to-do app image, and I have two different versions of it. If you remember, in one of these versions we had enabled or we had exposed the ports, and we had kind of used the -P flag to map that exposed port to a higher order port. And in this specific app, even though the port is exposed, we kind of used this -P or -P, but a small p, to map the port, map the host port versus container port. Okay, now let's try to push these images. Okay, now in order to push these images, let's go to hub.docker.com. Okay, I'm already logged in, but let me log out from here. Okay, so if you go to hub.docker.com, okay, this is what you're going to see. It will either ask you to, let me do this one more time. Where does it take me up? Yeah, so this is where you will be present, right? This is where you will be present once you visit the hub.docker.com, and you are free to, let's say, kind of go through the images that you want to see, but you will not be able to push the images, right? So before you can do that, go ahead and sign up on the hub.docker.com. It is important, and it is needed for our today's demo. Once you sign up, come back, let's try to log in. Okay, I will log into the hub.docker.com with my credentials. So I'm going to log in, continue. I'll add my password. It's already saved in Google, so it's good. Okay, so I am already logged into my my hub.docker.com account. Okay, you can see some of the previous images that I had pushed earlier. I think it was long years back, at least 2 years back, but once you logged in, you should be able to see. Maybe if you don't have anything, it will be kind of empty. If you want, you can, let's say, create a repository from here. Okay, but we'll come back to this, right? How to create a repository, and in fact there is a information available, right? So what you're saying is, if you want to publish an image, right, pushing an image, right, if you want to push an image, you can push a new image to this repository using the CLI. Okay, and CLI is what we want to be friends with forever, right? So what you do is, you do a docker tag a local image :tag name is version. Okay, and then new repo. Okay, so Sushil Kadu is the namespace that we have. Okay, it hasn't specified namespace, but I think let's try with and without also, and then the new repo and the tag name. Okay, let me get that out, and let me post this on my Sublime. Okay, so this is what it is, right? So you do docker tag local image tag name. Okay, tag name is version, then what is the new name you want, and then tag name. Okay, and then docker push the new repo, so whatever name you choose to give, and then what is the tag version that you want to give. Pushing our images with this commands in mind. Okay, so we have two commands, right? Docker tag and docker push. Okay, I think we can go ahead and do docker tag and docker push, but before that we would like to log in. So let's log in. Let's log in the CLI. Okay, so the command is docker login, and then you can do docker minus help, so it tells you what options you have. So minus u for username and then minus p for password. I will do docker login minus u. My username is Sushil Kadu. Password, I'm adding my password. Looks like I forgot. Let's see. I think I'm getting it right. It's taking some time. Yeah, login succeeded. Okay, so let's do docker images. Okay, yeah, I see the two images which I want to push now. So the command says first we need to do the tagging, and then you can push the images. Okay, so let me do docker tag the local images to do app colon 0.0.1, and the name I want to give is what is my the new repo name and tag name. Okay, I will also add a my namespace so that I can identify the image from local to the remote one. Okay, so to do app colon 0.0.1, I have tagged this image. So if I do docker images, I should see the newer image here. Okay, so we are good here so far. Now let's do docker push, as the next command says. Docker push, let's copy this one, and then 0.0.1. okay, looks like it's pushing. Yeah, it's preparing. This has successfully pushed our image. Let's go back to the repositories, right? So if I go to repository, now you can see, right? Sushil Kadu to do app, and last push a few seconds ago. Let's go into the details of it. Okay, so you can see the recent tags. It shows 0.0.1. okay, and I can, if I want, I can add some description here. Okay, to push a new docker image, this is what it is telling me. This is how we do this docker push, because repository has already been created earlier where we did not have this repository, but we have this repository now, so we can push these images right like this, and this is what we used as well. So this is good. Tags are nothing but version, whatever image that you see right on the hub.docker.com, you will see different versions which is getting pushed after some development has happened by the team, right? So let's try one more thing. Okay, so we will try to push, before we can do that, so I want to push another version, right? So this is what I want to push. So let's do a docker tag to do app source is 0.0.2. I want to add a namespace, add a name to do app, and then 0.0.2. I tagged this image docker images, then docker push. This is what I want to push. 0.0.2. So it is right now pushing the image. I think it's quite a big, though. This image is quite a big. Yeah, it's close to, I think, 120 MB. Oh no, it's 295 MB. That's a big one. I mean, considering the things that we have explored, because we have just seen a home page, but there are many more things underneath. Okay, so image got pushed. Let's come here. Let's refresh this. Okay, so tags, we will see another tag that got pushed. Okay, so you can see this was pushed just few seconds ago, and this was pushed around 3 minutes ago. So now we have a capability to make sure our images are published and can be used by other people. Now sorry, I'm using this my account, right? But consider you are working in a team, so you will have your own company account where you will push these things, right? And instead of using a password, you will probably use a kind of token. That's the production way of using things, and this happens basically by CI/CD pipelines. You don't do that from your machine. So when you push your code, there is a CI/CD job which runs, and then you can choose to configure it, whether it runs every day, whether it runs a weekly, or does it happen with every push. Depends on how much compute can you spend, right? So CI/CD pipeline can do this automatically. They can create these tags automatically with and then push that image to hub.docker.com, and the repository would be a, let's say, company designated repository. It wouldn't be a personal repository. Okay, now having said this, now earlier we discussed that we want to make this at par with hello world. Okay, so now we have Docker images right now. Let me try to remove all these images, right? So the way to do is docker image rm. Okay, this is what I want to delete all images, and I will do docker image ls. So this will list all the images, and then one by one it will be deleted. Okay, docker images, what is wrong here though? So what does it say? Docker images, sorry, docker ps minus a. Do we have containers running? Yeah, looks like we have some containers running. So let me remove the containers, docker rm, and I will say docker ps minus a, docker ps minus a. Okay, all containers are gone except this one. Yeah, this is running container. Okay, I think we can do minus a minus q as well. You cannot, oh no, we'll have to stop this container. We cannot, yeah, we have to stop this container, and then this should go through. Yeah, so docker ps minus a, everything is gone. Let's go back to our command, docker image ls, and then this will delete all images. Looks like it is not liking this. What's wrong here? So docker, oh no, I am wrong here. Okay, docker rmi can be done here actually straight away. No, excuse me, docker rmi minus help. Let's try this. Docker image rm, this was the alias I was using. That's fine. Docker rmi can be used. Let's try this. Minus force. Docker images, yeah, everything got removed now. I think I used force. Did that help? Yeah, and tagged. Yeah, I think that helped. Okay, I think we are good there. Everything is removed now, so there's no docker images, there is no docker ps minus a, there are no containers. Okay, now what I want to run my container, right? To do container without, I don't have any image, so I will run just like hello world. How did you run hello world? Docker run hello world, just a refresher, right? What it will do is, like, it doesn't find unable to find image locally, so it goes back to docker hub.docker.com. It says hello world. Okay, I mean, it downloads this image. Okay, and then it runs it, right? It pulls it and then runs it, and this is what you get, right? We want same thing to happen for our container as well, right? Let's try this. So I'll say docker run. I want to run this in detached mode. I want to publish ports as well. High code, if you remember. H for host machine, C for container port, and we can map host port as 4000, and running your container port has to be where you have published or where your server is listening, right? So docker run minus t detached mode minus p publish my this is what I want to publish my ports on. And then what's an image? So Sushil Kadu /to do to do app, and what version? Let me try 0.0.2. So it says, yeah, I cannot find this locally. Let me go and look on the hub.docker.com. Oh, I get an image there. Yes, let's download that image, and it ran that image, right? So when it runs, you know, what the docker run in detach mode says, it will publish that, or it will print the container, right? So it printed that container, and if I go here where the localhost 3000, tada, you see an app here, right? So that's complete our kind of one round of that completes one feature of to be able to create Docker image locally, run containers locally, and then publish them, get them get them to run from hub.docker.com, so that collaboration can happen between the teams. Okay, so I think that's it for this video, guys. Next video we are going to discuss a very important topic regarding how to persist the items that we are storing. For example, I'm storing something, a grocery. How do I persist this across the multiple lifetime of a container, right? You might have seen every time we start, we kind of get a clean slate here. That's because data is not persisted, and we are going to look into detail how to do that in the next video. See you